What if a single moment of weakness could destroy everything you've built for years? What if the love that once seemed unshakable starts to melt away like ice? My name is Emily, and this is the story of how I made the biggest mistake of my life. My husband, Adam, meant everything to me. He was the perfect partner, a friend, a lover. We were that couple everyone envied. But I made a choice that changed everything. This is a story of passion, lies, betrayal, and its consequences. It's about how one wrong step can trigger a chain reaction from which there's no escape. Stay until the end. You'll learn why betrayal is not just about weakness, but how it can shatter lives all around you. And most importantly, is it possible to fix what seems irrevocably broken? Adam and I were always the couple everyone called perfect. I always smiled when I heard it because, deep down, I believed it was true. But one day, everything that seemed so strong began to crack at the seams. Our meeting was like a scene from a romantic movie. That day, I was rushing to the library after lectures. My hands were full with a book, a bag, and a cup of coffee. As I approached an empty table, my carelessness played a cruel joke on me. I bumped into the table, spilling coffee all over the laptop of the guy sitting nearby. He looked up. His gaze was so calm that I was taken aback. I'm so sorry, I stammered, expecting an outburst of anger. It's all right, he replied, picking up his soaked laptop. And then, with a warm smile, he added, "Maybe this is a sign that it's time for me to invite someone for coffee." His confidence and ease left me confused. We went to a small coffee shop where we talked for hours. He turned out to be incredibly intelligent and charming. His name was Adam, and he had ambitions that captivated me. 3 years after that encounter, we got married. Our marriage seemed perfect. We built plans together, supported each other in everything. But life always has its surprises. Adam got the job he'd always dreamed of. His work became his universe, and I was just a planet spinning somewhere on its orbit. His evenings now belonged to his computer, calls, and endless documents. We talked less, hugged even less, and our nights turned into silent emptiness. One day, I came to work with a heavy heart and saw him, Ethan. He was the new employee in our office. His playful tone and bright gaze immediately caught my attention. At first, we only talked during lunch breaks. His stories made me laugh, and I felt something awakening in me that had been dormant for a long time. Day by day, I looked forward to seeing him more and more. It was dangerous, but so sweet. One evening, after staying late at work, Ethan came into my office. "Let me drive you home." "Don't say no," he said. I knew it was wrong, but I agreed. In the car, outside my house, tension filled the air. His voice grew softer, and he leaned closer. "Emily, you deserve to be happy." His words struck like lightning. And in that moment, I did something I never thought I could. I kissed him. It was a kiss filled with passion and forbidden desire. In that moment, I lost control. After it happened, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror without feeling guilty. Yet my heart raced every time I saw Ethan. Every encounter with him felt like forbidden fruit. We exchanged glances in the office, secretly touched each other under the conference room table. "You're driving me crazy, Emily," he whispered one day when we were in the elevator, where anyone could have seen us. I knew it was wrong. But how could I resist something that made me feel alive again? Ethan noticed things Adam hadn't for years. He complimented my new hairstyle, admired me even when I was exhausted after work. He looked at me like I was a miracle. Our relationship had been going on for months. We met in secret, at restaurants, hotels, even parking lots far from the office. Each meeting was filled with passion. Ethan could touch my face so gently that I forgot about everything. his arms wrapped around me as if trying to shield me from the world. Meanwhile, Adam continued living his life. He came home late but started paying more attention. "I see you've changed," he said one evening at dinner. "You're not the same as you were before. What's going on?" "Nothing. Just a lot of work," I replied, avoiding his gaze. But Adam was too smart not to notice. One day, when I came home, he was sitting in the kitchen. His laptop was in front of him. His face was expressionless, but his eyes were cold. "Sit down," he said briefly. I sat, not knowing what to expect. On the screen were my messages with Ethan, all the sweet words I'd written to him, our plans to meet. I saw photos we'd taken at hotels. My heart stopped. "How did you find this?" I whispered. "It doesn't matter how. What matters is why. How could you?" His voice trembled with pain. "Adam, do you even understand what you've done?" He raised his voice. "I worked for us. I tried to make our life better. And you just decided to find solace elsewhere." I tried to explain that I felt lonely, but it was useless. His eyes showed only disappointment. "You can't even imagine how deeply you've betrayed me," he said, standing up. That night he left. I was alone in our empty house, listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the echo of my own breath. The next day, Adam filed for divorce. But that was just the beginning of my downfall. I thought everything would end with the divorce. But as soon as I began to comfort myself with this thought, it became clear that I was wrong. A few days after Adam left, I received a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end sounded unsettlingly familiar. "Is this you?" she asked sharply. "You ruined my family. Who is this?" I couldn't even process what was happening. "This is Ethan's wife. Your husband sent me everything. Messages, photos, even hotel receipts. How could you?" I fell silent. My heart was pounding so loudly it felt like she could hear it through the phone. "Did you think this would stay a secret?" she continued. "You and he have nothing now. I left him, and he'll leave you too once he realizes he doesn't need you." Her words were like a knife. And she was right. Ethan no longer wanted to talk to me. He blamed me for ruining his life. He was fired for violating company ethics. His reputation was destroyed. "You brought me nothing but misery," he said during our last meeting. "And I don't want to see you anymore." I was left alone. Adam didn't just leave my life. He took everything that had mattered to me. Our home now felt like an empty shell. I sat in the bedroom, looking at photos we'd once taken together, asking myself, how could I have made such a mistake? Betrayal isn't just an act of weakness. It's a choice that burns down everything you've built. Now I'm left with ashes and shadows of the past. But is there a chance for me to start over? That's the question I have to answer on my own. Asterisk.
Please subscribe to our channel Stellar Stories. We have new amazing stories coming out every day. Thank you.